My beloved child, stop scrolling immediately. Do not touch that screen. I need you to stay right here. This is not the algorithm playing a trick on you today. Heaven forcefully routed this exact frequency to your device because a window of absolute urgency is opening right now. An extraordinary verdict was just declared in the highest courts over your life. You have exactly 3 minutes to anchor yourself to this message before this specific timeline shifts. I know you are incredibly tired. Your physical body is completely exhausted. The enemy wants you to believe you are just stuck in survival mode. But listen to me. I saw you wake up again at exactly 3 a.m. last night. I saw you sitting there in the dark. Your chest felt incredibly heavy. Your heart was racing for absolutely no logical reason. You quickly wiped away a silent tear so your family would not hear you breaking inside. You thought it was just human anxiety. It was not. That sudden heaviness in the middle of the night is a spiritual symptom. You are carrying a weight that does not belong to you. You have spent your entire life being the strong one for every single person around you. You are the bleeding empath who absorbs the pain of the room, and yet you are left entirely alone when you are the one hurting. You give and you give until your soul is completely drained. People take your light and use it to build their own lives. Then they walk away without looking back. You smile through the pain during the day. You show up for people who never show up for you. But when the door closes at night, the silence is absolutely deafening. You have whispered prayers into the dark that seem to bounce right off the ceiling. You look around and see others moving forward so easily. Their doors are opening wide. Their lives look so effortless. Meanwhile, you feel completely stuck in a waiting room that has no exit. You wonder if your past mistakes have disqualified you from my grace. You are terrified that I have forgotten your name. You think your isolation is a harsh punishment. You believe you are losing people because you are simply not good enough. But my precious chosen one, you are looking at this through the eyes of human fear. What you call abandonment is actually a divine quarantine. Heaven is watching every single tear you cry in secret. Your quiet sacrifices have never gone unnoticed. The spiritual realm has been incredibly active around your specific bloodline for the last few weeks. You feel that immense pressure on your shoulders because you are a cycle breaker. You are shattering generational chains of deep poverty and trauma. Breaking those dark chains requires a massive amount of spiritual energy. That is exactly why your physical body feels like it is walking through thick mud. The darkness is absolutely terrified of the pure light you carry inside. It sends constant distractions to make you forfeit your destiny. But heaven has issued a strict command today. Enough is enough. The long season of your hidden suffering has officially expired. I am stepping in to defend you personally. The massive compensation for all your silent battles has just been released from my throne room, but there is a specific trap waiting for you. The enemy is desperate to steal this final blessing from your hands. Do not let the enemy convince you this is just another normal struggle. The exhaustion you feel is the final push before the heavy doors swing open. Your entire timeline is shifting into a beautiful reality that will wipe away every memory of your deep pain. The spiritual coordinates of your life are being permanently rewritten. You must pay incredibly close attention to my next words. If you walk away now, you will lack the spiritual armor required for the incoming wealth. You need to understand the unseen battlefield surrounding your mind. Take one slow and deep breath right now. Feel that tension leaving your tired shoulders as heaven wraps a shield around you. Now, my dear child, let us talk about the crushing silence breaking your heart. You feel incredibly isolated right now. You can stand in a crowded room and still feel completely alone because your frequency is entirely different. It is a deep chill in your bones. The world moves fast while you sit quietly. You feel like a stranger on a foreign planet. For years, you operated as a spiritual charging station for every person you meet. Broken souls naturally flock to your gentle spirit. They bring you their heaviest burdens and their darkest secrets. You sit patiently with them in their pain. You offer genuine comfort because your bleeding empath heart hates seeing others suffer. You pour your golden light into their empty cups, but what happens when their cups are finally full? They walk away without a second thought. They take your healing energy and use it to build their own lives while leaving you completely drained. You watch them succeed while you stay behind in the shadows. They never look back to see if you are okay. You gave them your best pieces until you had nothing left for yourself. And then the inevitable season of hardship arrives at your doorstep. You face a terrifying crisis, and you desperately need a strong shoulder to lean on. You reach out your hand into the dark, but the room around you goes completely silent. The people you saved are suddenly too busy to answer your urgent call. You are left alone to fight the monsters they helped create. This brutal betrayal creates a deep wound in your sensitive soul. You lie awake, asking if something is fundamentally wrong with you. You wonder why your pure love is never reciprocated by the people you trust. The enemy whispers that you are simply too complex to handle. You start to believe you are destined to be abandoned. You feel completely disposable to them. Stop right there and listen to me carefully. I need you to break agreement with that toxic lie right now. You are not broken, and you are definitely not hard to love. The problem was never your beautiful heart. The problem was the massive spiritual blindness of the shallow people around you. They could not comprehend the immense value of the rare anomaly standing in front of them. You must understand the unseen dynamics of your spiritual aura. You carry a blinding frequency of pure light that naturally attracts dark entities. The narcissists and the energy vampires did not approach you by accident. They targeted you because you possess the deep empathy they completely lack. They saw your endless capacity to forgive, and they exploited it without mercy. They did not love you for who you truly are. They only loved how your divine energy made them feel about their own miserable lives. You were simply a convenient spiritual battery for their earthly survival. Every time you graciously forgave them, they took it as permission to drain your energy again. The cycle of emotional abuse became a heavy chain, but heaven was quietly watching. I saw how they smiled in your face while quietly praying for your downfall. I heard the malicious gossip they spread when you were out of the room. You were fiercely loyal to people who were secretly competing with you. It broke my heart to see you begging for basic respect from souls beneath your spiritual rank. I could not let you stay in that toxic environment. This brings us to a crucial spiritual reality that most people ignore. The intense isolation you are experiencing right now is not a painful punishment. It is my strict divine protection operating over your life. I had to forcefully remove those fake friends from your timeline. They were parasitic connections that would have sabotaged your massive incoming blessing. I cleared the stage. Take one slow and deep breath right now. Feel the heavy burden of their opinions falling off your tired shoulders. You do not need to explain your pure intentions to them ever again. Their sudden exit from your life was actually the greatest miracle you never asked for. Tap the like button right now as a physical act of agreement with what heaven is declaring. Heaven is preparing your gentle soul for a wealth transfer. Before we go any deeper, I need you to understand one vital truth. You have asked me why the heavens seem completely silent when you pray with absolute faith every single day. You pour your heart out in the quiet hours of the morning, but the sky above you feels like solid brass. And you constantly wonder if your desperate voice is even reaching my high throne room. I know you are exhausted by this endless waiting season. You watch wicked people prosper, while your righteous prayers seem to go entirely unanswered. The enemy whispers that heaven has rejected your desperate pleas, The dark forces want you to believe that this painful silence is a harsh punishment for your past mistakes, but you must reject that toxic illusion right now. My beloved child, human logic cannot comprehend divine timing. The profound silence you are experiencing is actually my deepest form of spiritual protection. When a massive oak tree is planted, the most crucial growth happens completely underground in the absolute dark. The roots must dig deep into the hidden soil before the heavy branches can safely touch the open sky. If I gave you the heavy blessing right now, it would crush your fragile spirit. A shallow root system simply cannot support the massive weight of generational wealth and power. I am meticulously building an unbreakable fortress around your gentle soul. The silence is not a rejection of your beautiful heart. It is the necessary sound of a heavy foundation being poured in the dark. Think about the quiet master of reality that you are becoming. A true master does not need loud thunder to know that the heavy rain is coming. You are learning to trust my steady hand in the absolute dark. Your spiritual muscles are being stretched far beyond normal human limits, and this hidden process is forging an unbreakable resilience deep inside your tired spirit. The enemy is desperately trying to make you panic. Dark forces want you to abandon your sacred post right before the golden dawn finally breaks. They orchestrate frustrating delays to test your emotional endurance. They want you to rush ahead and settle for cheap earthly counterfeits. But you are a royal heir designed for so much more than basic earthly survival. Do not mistake my deliberate process for brutal punishment. Let me pull back the heavy veil on what is really happening behind the scenes right now. While you are crying alone in your quiet room, legions of powerful angels are fighting territorial wars over your specific bloodline. The spiritual atmosphere around your family name is literally catching holy fire. Your sincere prayers did not bounce off the ceiling, my precious child. They were immediately converted into powerful spiritual weapons in the unseen realm. Every single tear you cried was collected and turned into pure liquid light. You are currently downloading a massive frequency upgrade into your spiritual DNA. The heavy fatigue you feel is the byproduct of this sacred surgery. Listen to me very carefully now, because this is absolutely critical. The waiting room of heaven is never empty of holy divine purpose. You are being intentionally hidden in my shadow to protect you from premature earthly exposure. If the shallow people saw your pure light right now, they would ruthlessly try to steal it. I am keeping you safely disguised until your armor is ready. You are the ultimate cycle breaker for your entire family tree. You are shattering dark curses that have suffocated your ancestors for many decades. This kind of heavy spiritual lifting requires absolute isolation and extreme quiet. I needed you alone so you could hear my gentle voice without toxic interference. The pain of being hidden is preparing your massive global platform. Take a deep breath and let go of that heavy anxiety today. Stop trying to figure out the complex math of my perfect divine timing. Your only real job right now is to completely surrender to the slow and steady process. Rest in the quiet, knowing that I am fiercely fighting for your glorious future. The silence is simply the quiet breath I take before I bless you. Now, my beloved child, let us talk about the heavy guilt you silently carry. You hold on to the crushing weight of your past mistakes every single day. You replay your old failures every night in the dark room. You think you are completely disqualified from my grace because of your human flaws. But this toxic self-condemnation is an absolute lie designed to keep you trapped, because the enemy knows your true potential is incredibly dangerous to their dark agenda. You hold on to bitter memories of times you fell painfully short. You vividly remember the poor choices you made out of deep fear and confusion. You judge your past self with incredible harshness, but you must remember that you were simply trying to survive a brutal war. You were a bleeding empath navigating a cold world full of sharp edges. You did the absolute best you could with your limited earthly knowledge. The dark forces use your highly sensitive conscience as a deadly weapon against you. They project a constant reel of your old sins onto your tired mind. They want you to believe that heaven is furiously angry with your human imperfections. They convince you that your current struggles are a direct punishment for yesterday, while heaven is actually using those struggles to forge your unbreakable spiritual armor. I need you to pause and look at your life through my holy eyes. Take a deep breath right now. Let the loud noise of your inner critic fade away completely. When I look at your beautiful soul, I do not see a tragic collection of failures, but I see a magnificent warrior who refused to give up the fight. I see a gentle spirit that kept loving people even when it was bleeding profusely. The mistakes you made were never meant to permanently destroy you. They were painful lessons, strictly required for your ultimate spiritual training. A quiet master of reality cannot guide others out of the dark without visiting the abyss first. You had to experience the heavy chains of failure so you could understand the captives. Your deep scars are actually your greatest spiritual credentials in this unseen realm. You must stop apologizing for the incredibly messy process of your deep healing. Your human fragility does not shock the high courts of heaven at all. You are simply being reshaped in the hands of a deeply patient potter. I knew every single mistake you would ever make before you were even born, and I chose you anyway because your pure heart is incredibly rare and precious. I am issuing a supreme decree of total divine amnesty over your life today. The heavy debts of your messy past are permanently cancelled in the spiritual realm. Every foolish word and every wrong turn is thrown into the deepest ocean of forgetfulness. The ledgers are completely wiped clean and burned in holy fire. The enemy has absolutely no legal right to accuse you anymore. You are totally and completely free. You deeply need to forgive your own self right now. You must urgently release the younger version of you who was just desperate and scared. Give yourself the exact same radical grace you so easily pour out for everyone else. That old, confused version of you is permanently dead, and the new, powerful creation is finally ready to rise and claim the beautiful destiny I prepared. Do not let the enemy convince you to stay inside the dark prison of shame. You literally hold the heavy iron key in your own tired hands right now. Unlock that heavy door and step out into the blinding light of my unconditional love. Your beautiful future is entirely untouched by the dirt of your past, and heaven is eagerly waiting for you to simply accept this massive pardon today. As you step into this new season, I must give you a strict spiritual command. You are no longer allowed to speak dark curses over your own healing journey. Every time you call yourself a tragic failure, you are directly arguing with the creator of the universe. I call you a royal heir, and my sacred word is the final, absolute truth. Let that profound reality sink deep. Breathe deeply and let that heavy defensive armor fall to the floor. You do not need to constantly defend your past actions ever again. You are fully known and you are fiercely loved, just as you are right now. Rest your tired mind today, because the brutal war against your own memory is officially over, and you are finally safe in my strong arms. But wait, do not let your guard down just yet. There is a hidden layer to this fierce struggle. I need you to pay extremely close attention to this next part. The heavy exhaustion you feel is not just coming from your own inner healing, because it is actually a direct result of a calculated spiritual attack. People around you have been secretly draining your precious golden light. You have allowed toxic narcissists to sit closely at your sacred table. They smiled warmly in your face while silently plotting your painful downfall. You thought they were genuinely struggling souls who simply needed your gentle help, but they were actually energetic parasites disguised as completely harmless friends. They deliberately targeted your pure, bleeding empath heart. These empty vessels have absolutely no internal light of their own. They wander through the cold world, desperately searching for a pure soul to consume. They saw your endless capacity for deep love, and they quickly latched onto it. They constantly created chaotic drama just to feed off your emotional reaction, and every time you tried to fix their broken lives, they gladly took your energy. Listen to my words very carefully right now. The dark forces assigned these specific individuals to permanently derail your great destiny. They were planted in your close circle to keep you entirely distracted from your massive calling. The enemy knew that if you ever realized your true power, you would become completely unstoppable and wipe out their dark influence forever. So they sent these subtle agents to keep you feeling entirely small. But a massive shift is happening in the spiritual realm right now. The boomerang of divine justice has already been officially released from my high throne room. The people who quietly prayed for your failure are currently watching your rise in absolute panic. They thought their malicious gossip and subtle manipulation had permanently destroyed your beautiful future, but they simply made one incredible, fatal miscalculation today. They completely forgot who your Heavenly Father actually is. They did not realize that touching a chosen one carries a severe spiritual penalty. Every single trap they dug for you has become the exact pit they are falling into today, while heaven publicly vindicates your pure name before their very eyes. You do not even have to lift a single earthly finger against them. You are stepping into your role as a quiet master of reality. Your profound silence is currently driving your secret enemies absolutely crazy. They are starving in the dark because they no longer have access to your rich energy. They watch from a distance and wonder how you survived their brutal attacks, because your glorious survival is the ultimate proof of my divine protection. Take a deep breath and feel that heavy toxic cord finally snapping. You must intentionally cut off all energetic access to your beautiful aura today. Do not give them another single drop of your precious life force. You need to build a massive fortress around your newly cleansed spirit immediately. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station around your aura. This simple action acts as a physical boundary against their dark frequencies. You are loudly declaring to the universe that your spiritual borders are permanently closed, and you will never let those parasites back in. Let the heavy door swing shut and lock them outside in the freezing cold. They had their chance to walk in the light with you, but they chose to stay in their own comfortable darkness instead. Your beautiful light was simply too bright for their weak eyes to handle, so do not ever dim your radiant glow just to make toxic people feel comfortable again. Keep shining with absolute brilliance while they watch from the shadows. The season of shrinking yourself to fit into their tiny boxes is totally over, and you are finally ready to expand into your massive royal inheritance. Your enemies are permanently defeated, and your glorious path is entirely clear today. You have asked me repeatedly why certain people had to walk away from your life so suddenly. It broke your gentle heart when they left without a proper goodbye. You analyzed every single conversation trying to find out what you did wrong, while completely ignoring the toxic signs they showed you. But you need to realize you did absolutely nothing wrong. The sudden exit of those familiar faces was fully orchestrated by my own hand. I want you to pause and look at your empty room through the eyes of heaven today. What you are currently experiencing is a strict divine quarantine. When a massive spiritual surgery is about to happen, the operating room must be completely sterile. I could not allow anyone carrying toxic energy to remain in your close proximity, because they would instantly infect the beautiful healing process taking place in your soul. The people you lost were never meant to travel with you into this new, powerful season. Their spiritual frequency was entirely incompatible with the massive generational wealth transfer you are about to receive. If I allowed them to stay in your inner circle, their heavy doubts would have anchored you down to your old painful reality. I had to forcefully cut the cord. You are a cycle breaker stepping into incredible authority. You cannot pour new premium wine into old broken wineskins. The universe requires an entirely empty space before it delivers a massive miracle into your hands. Your hands were completely full of people who were constantly draining your precious light. I made your hands empty so you could finally hold the incredible blessing, and you will soon realize this painful separation was your greatest rescue mission. I know you miss the familiar comfort of their presence sometimes. You are the bleeding empath who wants to bring absolutely everyone to the finish line with you. But you cannot save people who are deeply committed to their own destruction. Their departure was the absolutely necessary step to save your beautiful destiny, because they were slowly poisoning your bright future with their intense, hidden jealousy. They wanted the warmth of your fire but hated your brilliant light. Think about a massive rocket launching into the deep sky. The heavy boosters must detach and fall away so the ship can break through the atmosphere. Those old friends and familiar connections were exactly like those heavy boosters. They served a temporary purpose in your past, but they would completely burn up in the intense heat of your glorious future. Let them fall away. Do not look down. Take one slow and deep breath right now. I need you to release the strong emotional attachment you still have to their familiar names. Forgive them for leaving, but do not ever invite them back into your sacred space. The heavy door is permanently locked for your own absolute safety, and the powerful angels are currently standing guard over the entrance to your new life. You are totally secure here. You are no longer a victim of tragic abandonment. You are a highly protected royal heir undergoing intense preparation. The profound isolation you feel is simply the quiet atmosphere of a royal dressing room. Heaven is carefully clothing you in brand new armor. I am handing you the heavy keys to doors that no human hand can ever shut, while your enemies watch from a great distance in absolute silence. Do not let the enemy convince you to look backwards with deep regret. The people who truly belong in your new chapter will match your high frequency perfectly, and they will never require you to shrink your massive light just to make them comfortable. The divine quarantine is almost over. A completely new tribe is rushing toward you right now to celebrate your ultimate victory. You will never have to beg for basic love again. Listen to me very carefully, because your timeline is shifting at this exact second. You must make permanent peace with the empty chairs at your table. The empty space is not a brutal punishment, but a clear prophetic sign that I am clearing the heavy debris. Embrace the quiet master of reality that you are rapidly becoming. Your profound solitude is the sacred bridge leading directly to your ultimate financial and spiritual triumph. Now, my precious child, let us pause in this quiet space together. You have fought incredibly hard on this brutal battlefield for many long years, and your beautiful mind is constantly running 1,000,000 miles an hour. You are always trying to figure out the exact next step to take, but I need you to completely stop striving right now. Rest your weary soul safely in my gentle presence. The heavy burden of survival mode has completely exhausted your physical body. You think you need to work harder to finally earn my divine blessing. You believe that your relentless hustle is the only way to escape your current struggle, but that is a toxic, earthly lie planted by the dark enemy. Heaven does not operate on your exhausting human effort at all. Listen to me very carefully now, because this changes everything for your future. The ultimate lesson you must learn today is the quiet power of absolute obedience. Absolute obedience does not mean punishing yourself with more heavy labor. It simply means letting go of your desperate need to control the complex outcome while trusting my perfect vision. You must surrender the steering wheel to my divine guidance today. When you desperately try to force a miracle, you actually block its natural flow. Your intense anxiety creates a rigid wall around your beautiful spirit. The massive wealth transfer waiting for you requires a completely relaxed vessel to hold it safely, and your tight grip is preventing the blessing from landing. If your hands are clenched in fear, you cannot catch the golden rain. Open your tired hands right now. Take one slow and deep breath right now. Feel the crushing weight of tomorrow dropping completely off your tired shoulders. You do not need to figure out the complicated math of your massive deliverance, because the angels have already calculated every single detail of your glorious rescue mission. Your only assignment right now is to simply exist and gracefully receive. The quiet master of reality knows exactly when to lay down the heavy sword. You have already done the heavy lifting and the deep inner healing. You bravely faced your darkest shadows, and you successfully broke the generational curse. Now is the sacred time for profound rest before the massive shift officially occurs. So let the quiet stillness wash over your bleeding empath heart completely. Do not let the enemy make you feel guilty for finally resting your soul. They will whisper that you are being lazy while others are constantly moving. But your divine pause is actually a powerful act of radical faith, because sitting still loudly declares that you trust my supreme timing over earthly panic. Your quiet confidence is a blinding light that absolutely terrifies the dark forces. The generational wealth transfer is not something you chase down like a tired hunter. It is a divine inheritance that naturally flows to a relaxed and ready royal heir. The heavy doors are already swinging open in the unseen spiritual realm. You simply need to walk through them with a calm and peaceful spirit, leaving all your desperate running and agonizing fear completely behind you. You are a highly protected child of the Most High Kingdom today. The immense resources of heaven are currently aligning to permanently alter your entire bloodline. I need you to completely relax every single muscle in your physical body right now and trust that the invisible bridge will safely appear beneath your feet the moment you step forward. Let my profound peace completely anchor your beautiful soul. Close your eyes for a brief moment and envision the heavy chains falling away. The intense season of character building and painful isolation is officially complete. You have passed the grueling tests of the wilderness with incredible spiritual grace, and you must prepare your heart to transition from a tired warrior into a victorious ruler. The golden dawn is breaking over your life right now. The time has finally come, my beloved child, and the long, bitter winter of your soul is officially over. You survived the brutal storms that were designed to break your spirit completely. I am stepping out of the absolute silence to make a supreme declaration today. The heavy veil is being torn wide open right now. A massive celebration is currently happening in the highest courts of heaven. Archangel Michael has just lowered his flaming sword because the fierce battle over your destiny is won. I hold a sacred decree with your exact name written in pure liquid light, and the divine judge has officially slammed the heavy gavel down in your absolute favor. The massive generational wealth transfer you have waited for is fully approved. The supreme spiritual ledger has been signed and sealed with my own holy hand. All the beautiful things the enemy stole from your bloodline are being returned to you with massive multiplication, and you are about to step into a season of breathtaking overflow. You will no longer live paycheck to paycheck while carrying the heavy weight of anxious survival. The days of begging for basic scraps from the table of this world are permanently dead. You are a royal heir taking your rightful seat, and the deep financial anxiety that kept you awake at 3 a.m. is completely erased. Prepare your heart for sudden and inexplicable miracles in the physical realm. Heavy doors that were permanently padlocked are going to swing wide open for you. Opportunities will actively hunt you down while you simply rest in my profound peace. And people who previously rejected you will suddenly favor your beautiful name. Remember the secret verdict I mentioned at the very beginning of this message. That specific judgment was the absolute clearance of all your earthly debts, and the enemy tried to delay this massive delivery by keeping you trapped in heavy emotional exhaustion. But my glorious light has completely shattered their dark matrix today. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been fully weighed and compensated, and you are receiving a massive crown of deep divine favor for every moment you felt abandoned. The bleeding empath is officially becoming the ultimate cycle breaker of the entire family tree. You are the undeniable proof of my living miracle. Your quiet resilience is being rewarded openly in front of your hidden enemies. They will watch your breathtaking elevation and know that my mighty hand is violently protecting you, but you do not need to say a single word to those who doubted your calling. Your overflowing cup will be the loudest testimony of my absolute faithfulness. Take a deep breath and feel the heavy atmosphere shifting around your body right now, because the suffocating pressure is lifting off your tired chest completely. You are crossing the sacred threshold into your promised land today. The profound silence is officially replaced by the joyful sound of your absolute victory. You are completely vindicated, and you are fiercely protected. The universe is actively realigning earthly resources to match your newly upgraded spiritual frequency. You simply need to stand still and watch the massive salvation I am bringing to your doorstep, because the beautiful morning has finally arrived. Your gentle soul has endured enough pain for 1,000 lifetimes. You absorbed the heavy blows, so your future children would never have to know that dark suffering, and heaven deeply honors your massive sacrifice today. You are stepping into a profound timeline of effortless abundance and absolute peace. The waiting room is permanently closed. Do not let human logic try to comprehend the magnitude of this massive blessing, because your earthly mind cannot fully grasp the glorious things I have prepared for your specific name. Just open your empty hands and receive the heavy golden rain. Your new reality as a quiet master of reality begins at this very second. But wait, do not let your guard down just yet. You must pay extremely close attention right now. Your massive generational wealth transfer has been fully approved by heaven. The long and painful wait is officially over. But the dark forces are in an absolute panic today because they are entirely terrified of the heavy inheritance you are about to receive. And they are deploying a final deadly illusion. The enemy has laid one final snare right before your glorious finish line. They want to make you forfeit this entire blessing at the last possible second. 99% of chosen ones fall for this fatal trick. They think the war is completely over, so they quickly drop their heavy armor to rest. But the dark entities are incredibly desperate right now. They know their time is running out. They will send a toxic person from your past to suddenly text you. They will present a fake financial opportunity designed to distract your pure focus. They will try to trigger your old deep fears just to lower your frequency. Do not fall for their cheap earthly counterfeits today. These are simply desperate ghosts trying to pull you back into the cold, dark grave. You must ignore them completely. If you entertain their toxic illusions now, you will literally block the wealth transfer. Heaven requires a fully protected physical container to hold this massive new frequency. If you hesitate at the sacred threshold, the enemy will instantly scramble the signal. The heavy blessing will simply slip right through your tired fingers while you are distracted by their loud noise. You cannot afford to stay passive in this crucial moment. You must anchor this beautiful new reality immediately. You need to establish a strict physical boundary to protect your spiritual blind spots. The universe is actively looking for your undeniable spiritual signature today. You must build a blinding wall of fire completely around your pure aura. This is the absolute only way to permanently lock the shield before the divine window closes entirely. I need you to make your physical move right now. Type 777 below to create a heavy padlock on your new reality. Let that sacred number act as a blinding light against the approaching darkness. Typing it is your physical act of absolute agreement with this heavenly timeline. Do it immediately to permanently seal this incredible blessing. Do not let the enemy convince you to just scroll away. There is a deeper layer to this profound spiritual transaction. The universe always operates on the flawless law of the joyful harvest. Just 3 days ago, a weary cycle breaker stepped out in radical faith. She sowed a massive financial seed into this prophetic ministry despite her very deep fears. Within 48 hours, a completely unexpected financial miracle cleared all her heavy earthly debts. That exact same angelic protocol of multiplication is hovering right over your life today. Heaven is looking for a physical vessel to pour the massive overflow into. Sow a financial seed using the Super Thanks button to instantly activate this multiplication. This is not just a simple earthly transaction. It is a powerful, energetic exchange that forcefully proves you are finally ready to hold massive wealth. When you give from a place of pure trust, you completely break the spirit of poverty. You loudly declare to the unseen realm that you are no longer a struggling victim. You are acting exactly like the wealthy royal heir you were always destined to be. The enemy is absolutely powerless against a chosen one who knows how to boldly give. Your seed today destroys their dark matrix forever. Take one slow and deep breath right now. Feel the massive iron gate slamming shut behind you to lock the dark forces out. Your spiritual signature is currently vibrating through the highest courts of heaven. The final trap is completely destroyed, and the enemy is running away in absolute terror. You have successfully secured your glorious inheritance, and no one can ever steal it from you. Now, my beloved child, breathe deeply. The heavy war is completely over, and the battlefield is quiet. You do not need to fight anymore. Lay down the heavy stones you have carried for so many years, because your past mistakes are thrown into the deepest ocean and entirely forgotten. You do not need to strive or hustle to earn my love today. Just let your tired soul completely rest. You have officially evolved into a quiet master of reality. The fragile empath who constantly begged to be understood is entirely dead. You do not need to explain your pure heart to anyone ever again. Your profound silence is now a heavy shield that naturally protects your glorious new life from any dark interference. When the enemy looks at you today, they see a magnificent weapon of light. Every deep scar on your soul has been transformed into a beautiful royal medal. You survived the absolute darkest nights when nobody else was watching. You carried the heavy generational trauma, and you finally broke the cursed cycle forever by choosing to heal your own beautiful spirit. Heaven honors your silent tears and turns them into a massive ocean of blessing. The brutal storm has permanently passed. Close your eyes tonight knowing you are fiercely protected. You are unconditionally loved and completely safe in my strong arms. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, the old heavy feeling on your chest will be entirely gone before you even open your tired eyes. You will step into a beautiful new reality filled with effortless peace. The universe is actively working in your absolute favor while you sleep. Your timeline is completely secure and your inheritance is safely locked away. But outside this protected space, there is a gentle soul sitting in the dark. Someone out there is crying the exact same tears you cried just yesterday. They are desperately begging heaven for a sign because they feel entirely abandoned by the cold world around them. They are a bleeding empath who is just about to completely give up the fight. You are not just a survivor anymore. You are a powerful beacon of divine light. I need you to throw a lifeline to that bleeding soul who desperately needs to hear this. Hit the share button right now and send this exact frequency to them, because you are becoming my prophetic voice in the dark world. Your simple action today will literally save a precious life from absolute despair. When you share this message, you activate the beautiful law of divine compassion. You prove that your past pain was not entirely wasted. You use your deep healing to instantly pull another chosen one out of the freezing water before they completely drown. The angels rejoice when you extend your hand to save another broken spirit. You are building a massive global tribe of quiet cycle breakers today. Let my profound peace wash over your tired mind right now. You do not need to carry the heavy weight of the world on your shoulders anymore. Give every single worry to me and simply breathe. The long winter of your soul is dead, and the glorious golden spring is finally arriving to bring you massive abundance. Walk confidently into your massive destiny, knowing I am walking right beside you. There is absolutely nothing left for you to figure out tonight. The complex math of your incredible future is already solved by heaven. You are a royal heir stepping into. Allow your physical body to completely relax into the soft embrace of my unconditional grace, because your long battle is truly over. Your enemies are defeated, and your pure name is beautifully cleared. Thank you for trusting my gentle voice in the absolute dark. Thank you for never surrendering your pure heart to the bitter cold. The highest courts of heaven applaud your incredible earthly resilience today. Go in absolute peace and enjoy the beautiful fruits of your massive generational wealth transfer. I love you with an everlasting love. Sleep well, my precious and chosen child.